And just like that, we're back. Views from Section 400. Jack, Brian, and Matt in this edition of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Mike of the Week is what we'll be covering in this one. NBA Finals. Obviously, that is down to the final series. NHL playoffs. We're getting close to somebody lifting the cup, the Lord Stanley Cup. And little MLB. I know Brian wasn't too pleased with my Steve Cohen comments last week. We'll see what his reaction is to that. And then a little French Open talk. I know that's a big tennis tournament. Not a lot of people care, but we're always good for a future, right? I mean, we can always hand something out. So maybe we'll get into that. PGA Tour weekend just wrapped up with another tournament. No Scottie Scheffler, so I guess nobody really cares. But yeah, boys, welcome. Let's get into some uninterrupted sports conversation and kick it off with Mike of the Week. I will pick one of you guys. Just take it away.
Before we get to Michael of the Week, Brian, I got to hear about the honeymoon. How was the week off from Views? What was that like?
It was relaxing. It was nice not having access to my phone all the time. It's nice taking a little break with the screen time. I think my phone screen actually thought I was dead because the screen time was down like 75% last week, which my eyes are thanking me for. But yeah, it was fun. Saw some fish, ate some fish, drank some beer. Good time.
Good time.
We did have a confirmation that there were no stingrays on skateboards.
There were no stingrays on skateboards. I saw about 50 of them, and not one of them had a skateboard. So I don't know what the Rays are thinking with those City Connects.
Well, we're happy to have you back, buddy. Back to a full crew. And yeah, we'll jump right into it. With the Mike of the Week, Brian created this segment, something that surprised you, shocked you, really could be anything, I guess, related to the world of sports that just, you weren't expecting to happen or weren't expecting to see or no, whatever. But I know I said I'll let one of you two take the ball rolling. You guys both looked at me like deer in the absolute headlights. So, Jack, why don't you kick us off? So, no, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but you guys just take it away.
Confusion.
Jack, go. No confusion. There you go. Jack,
I get you.
Pick it up.
I'm going to go first with my Michael of the Week, but Brian's going to be doing all the explaining. The Darren Waller divorce video. What the hell was that?
I don't have any explanation for that. Came out on the honeymoon. I saw it while I was pooping in the morning, and then I went off the beach. I have no explanation for what that was.
Brian, what in the world? I have never seen a person ever make a divorce video like that, on top of it being a professional NFL veteran in Darren Waller. Dude.
Isn't he married to Kelsey Plum?
They got divorced.
He was.
It was like a diss track / divorce track. Like, I don't know.
Start like rapping up? Because I didn't see the video. I had no idea this happened.
It was a heavily auto-tuned, like, sad ballad. I'm still trying to figure out if he was sad about the divorce or sad about the fact he hasn't been playing that much, or both, or if it was a diss track. I'm not really sure.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I watched like the first 20 seconds of it. It was like, how fucking long? Because it's a full song. It's a totally choreographed music video.
You got a fake Kelsey Plum.
He's got like a wave crashing over his face or something like that. Like, it was like, I'm like, what is this? And I saw it's like 3 minutes long or something like that. Well, I don't have the time for this.
Yeah, I watched that.
Does anybody know why?
No.
There's no like why they got divorced. Like, did he cheat on her?
Oh, why they got divorced? Yeah, he cheated on her.
He cheated on her.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What a fucking! That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
And then so he went out and did that. But yeah, I mean Kelsey. I mean, dude, they were my like power couple.
They were
to have like awesome kids who were going to be like D1 professional athletes. So I guess that ship's fucking sailed.
Yeah, I think that may have won our Twitter poll.
I think it did. Dude, I think he cheated on her like days after that video of her eating the popcorn courtside dropped. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, because it's like she's eating it like a mouse or something. And it's really bad. But yeah, the news came out that he cheated on her shortly after that video dropped.
Does anyone know who it was with?
No.
Oh. All right, well, that's a pretty wild Mike of the Week. It's going to be tough to follow up there, Jack. So good pull from you. Brian, what do you got?
Yeah, this is going to be a good week for Michaels. So you mentioned the golf tournament earlier. This golfer, CT Pan, his caddy, Cohen, however you say it, 76 years old, injured on the third hole of the fourth round of the tournament today, had to go out. He didn't have a backup caddy. The dude grabbed a random Canadian from the stands and got him to caddy for 3 holes. And then he didn't do a good enough job, so he replaced him with another random fan.
That's awesome. I'd love to see that. I know golf's all etiquette and elegance and doing things the right way and proper, but hell, man, that's sick.
He shot like even for par on the day too. Like he didn't have a bad day.
I don't think he had a bad tournament. I know he was hanging around. He obviously didn't win it, but pretty wild. Jack, do you have a response?
Dude, that's just everybody's dream, right? You're just an avid golfer watching the PGA, and caddy goes down. Phil Mickelson's looking around. I need someone. You go in there, like I'm sure avid golfers dream about that kind of shit. I was a baseball player. I'm like bottom of the 9, 2 outs kind of deal. But these golfers, man, that's some cool stuff. It is.
Dude, I don't know what that first guy did to get kicked out of being a civilian caddy, because he had to be like actively trying to tell him what club to use or something, where he just pissed him off enough to be like, yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, he probably told them to use like a completely wrong club and was like, get this guy out of here. But I mean, to kind of paint the picture for, maybe people who don't know golf or don't watch golf, this is essentially like the manager of a baseball team pulling a guy out of the stands and having him go be the first base coach, or pulling a guy out of the crowd to be like an assistant coach on an NFL team. Like that's the kind of level. I mean, to get pulled on to be a caddy in a PGA level tournament is why the RBC Canadian Open, like that's like a pretty decent tournament. And that's wild. Absolutely wild.
At least it happened early in the day. So most of the fans are probably semi-sober. Can't imagine what happened on like the 14th hole and you had to try to find a sober fan out of all those Canadians.
Yeah, but either way, I don't know what Pan finished, but I mean, I guess way to be proactive about your situation. First of all, why is your caddy 76 years old to begin with?
Apparently he's a legend. Like on the broadcast, they were saying he's a legend. So
I mean, 76 is pretty up there, man. I know the guy can probably move around, but like, hey, 4 days of walking, there's no carts. I mean, you got to be locked in. That's 76. It's doable, I guess, but pretty wild. You guys had some pretty solid mics of the week. I don't know that I have one that's going to follow up that greatly, but since everything is so in tune to what I'm about to say, I just had to have it as my mic of the week because I was shocked by it. And it's always good to give these guys a shout out. But the winner of the PGA RBC Canadian Open, Rob McIntyre, and I was shocked to find this out, went to McNeese State, played college golf there, and was a McNeese State Cowboy who won the Canadian Open today. So look at that. For the McNeese. It's not a lot of L's down there. It's not a lot of L's down there. W for the McNeese State Cowboys. Alum golfer Robert McIntyre wins the Canadian Open. Former McNeese State Eagle.
Our 2 big L's for March Madness, Auburn and McNeese. Auburn wins the college golf natty, and McNeese gets a win in the PGA.
It wins the Canadian Open.
That's incredible.
Great
that is
There,
incredible.
right?
Yo, roll Cowboys.
I guess, man. Hey, that's what I said. Don't sleep on those Cowboys. I will always try to shed some positivity on that school. But yeah, pretty wild that McNeese. I guess my Michael of the week is McNeese. I guess for Wednesday, I could say my winner of the week, McNeese State.
There you go.
Already thinking ahead. But yeah. Mics of the week, pretty hot this week. I'd say those are pretty solid all the way around. So that segment's only going to get better and better as we continue to fine tune and get better ourselves. But yeah, mic of the week, as always, presented by Views from Section 400. We are looking for active sponsors. If you want to come on and sponsor the mic of the week or winners and losers, let us know. Sin, I'm talking to you. But let's keep it moving on. Get into a little NBA playoffs, NBA finals. The matchup set. The stage is set. We're going to get a champion, right? And it's 2 power combos. You have the Mavericks, Kyrie and Luka, Celtics, Jaylen Brown and Tatum. I understand they got a couple other guys as well, but those are the power star-studded duos. I mean, let's just talk it out a little bit here. Who's going to win? Who's going to have the better series? Tatum already been there. Kyrie already has a ring. I mean, who's going to win this matchup?
Well, I have been hand-delivered the script from Adam Silver himself, and I will tell you
Really?
exactly how this series will go. So Boston's favored by 6 in game 1. They're going to cover that. They're going to win game 1 easy. And then I know they finally won a game 2 in the last round but that was against the Pacers. The Pacers were the Mickey Mouse. They didn't deserve to be there. So they're going to lose game 2. The Mavs are going to go back home, win games 3 and 4. And then the Celtics shouldn't be mad. They're going to win games 5 and 6. Game 7, Kyrie Irving, game winner, buzzer beater, Mavs in 7.
Wait, it sounded like you wrapped that up in 6.
They're going to split in Boston. The Mavs are going to sweep at home.
I got you now.
And then Boston wins 2 in a row, and then Mavs win game 7.
So you think it goes 7 and the Mavs win it?
Yep, on the road.
On the road in Boston. I kind of hope so. That'd be hilarious, dude. Everybody's hyping up Tatum. Is he the guy? Is he the guy? Look, here's a shot, right? Here's a shot to silence the haters, silence the critics, silence whoever you want to say. Tatum's got to go out there and get it done. If he doesn't, you got to put him right up there with Embiid not being able to win. I don't care Embiid hasn't been to the finals, but as far as I'm concerned, you go 0-2 in the finals, that's almost worse.
Even if they win, I don't think this silences the haters for Tatum. It's a lose-lose for the Celtics. It's either you played nobody.
A lot.
It's either you played nobody and you won a ring, or you lost because you played. It's a joke. No one's going to respect this championship.
Why is it a joke?
What are you talking about?
The teams they've played to get here. Like I'm saying they deserve it if they win it, but there's going to be people that say, "Hey, they didn't play anybody," so that this isn't a legitimate ring.
You make a fair point for their run to get to the finals. The 3 teams that they had to play.
4 or 5 seed in the West.
Brian, look at who the Mavs played and dominated on their run.
You're gonna tell me the Timberwolves are like an elite team all of a sudden?
OKC, the number 1 and number 3 seeds.
As much as we love OKC, one of the worst 1 seeds in a while in the West.
A dominant West. Worst 1 seed because everybody was so fucking good.
If people were gonna respect this ring, they needed to play the Nuggets. They needed to beat Jokic and the Nuggets.
No. Oh, so you have to beat the defending champs for you to beat
or LeBron. No. Or LeBron. Yeah, that's how that works. Yeah.
I don't think LeBron doesn't hold weight anymore. LeBron doesn't hold weight anymore.
Well, I'm saying people would respect it more if it was against LeBron's Lakers than against these Mavs.
I see that's the angle you're trying to take.
That's crazy to me because people have been talking during this run about how Kyrie is debatably the most skilled point guard ever, maybe even better than Steph if he goes win another ring. No LeBron there. You're talking about Luka Doncic, who is easily one of the best players in the NBA, just won the scoring title this year.
Yeah, and people still laugh at him for being 15 pounds overweight and not running fast enough and playing Overwatch.
Yeah, they say that about fucking Jokic, and he just won his 3rd MVP, and he's got a ring under his belt.
Yeah, but Jokic has 3 MVPs in a ring. That's why.
Luka is on his way to getting his first, okay? Even if he doesn't win this, I just don't understand how you can say this isn't a legitimate win for the Celtics if they get it done.
It's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose.
I think it's a legitimate win for both teams, but I think if Luka wins it and gets his ring, I don't see how he's not the best player in the NBA. He scores the most points, and he would be the defending champion. What more do you have to do to qualify to being the best player? I understand the MVP's out there, but the scoring title is a huge accomplishment. As well as being like you score the most points, you average the most points scored, and you just won a ring. How are you not the best player?
How many horses does he own?
I don't know. Not enough, I guess.
Yeah.
He is from that area.
But Matt, you're right because people remember the scoring more than anything else. Even though Jokic has the assist and the rebounds to go along with it, not that Luka doesn't. I mean,
Luka can be a triple double machine himself.
Yeah, but people remember the scoring more than anything else. I mean, that's what everybody remembers Jordan for. So that and the championships. But look, I think to answer your original question. I think the Mavs are going to win this series. I've been saying it from the start. The West is going to win this. Brian's whole predicting it game by game, I don't think I had it that thought out, but I do think the Mavs come away with this. I still think Kyrie and Luka are the best duo in the NBA right now, and they've proven it to this point. see them get the job done against the East best duo.
And now, is this your guys? You want the Mavericks to win, so you're leaning them, or you actually think they're going to win?
I think there's a very legitimate shot the Celtics win this series. I mean, again, as Brian wants to say, this has been a cupcake road for them, but they've dominated. They've dominated.
It has been cupcake, but they also have a legitimate shot to win it all and win the title. That's why I don't think like both can be true. Like, you can have a cakewalk schedule and still have a shot to winning it.
Yeah, I mean, they've dominated that schedule.
Like, if you put the Celtics in the West and they had to play in that conference, like, they would still be they would be closer to 1 than they'd be closer to the 8 seed.
Yeah, I agree with that. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd be in the finals, and I could say that with some conviction.
I mean, dude, like Drew Holiday, Tatum, Brown, Porzingis. I know Porzingis, but
they were not good against teams at the top of the West in the regular season.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Look, I want the Mavs to win. I'm rooting for the Mavs all day long. I think you're kind of you're doing what I did before the playoffs when I said I was all over this, dude. I was early. I said I'm not worried about Drew Holiday. I'm not worried about the Celtics. They're a bunch of bums. And look, they're in the finals, and I think they definitely have a shot to win it.
They do, and in the 2 matchups they had against the Mavs this regular season, the Celtics won both of those matchups. So that's something to consider as well. It's not like the matchup. I mean, people, you want to talk about the road that you had to get there. All right, well, now here we are. This is the matchup. You know, who's going to be guarding Jason Tatum? Who is Kyrie guarding? Is he going to be covering Drew Holiday? I mean, is he able to do that? We'll see. I think matchups are a huge deal.
And I think the matchups, it favors the Mavericks because the Celtics don't have like a dominant big man. Like, sure, you got Porzingis, and then you got that what's the tall, lanky white dude? I already forgot his name, but he barely plays and is not effective. But, you know, the Mavs,
Porzingis.
No, they have Porzingis, and then they have another big white guy.
Hauser? He's not that big.
I didn't know Al Horford was white.
Oh, Luke Cornett.
There you go.
I don't think he's going to play at all in the finals.
He gets some minutes. He played during the playoffs.
He runs around for like 5 minutes and sets screens.
Either way, the Celtics don't have an overpowering, dominant big. Like Porzingis, sure, but he's not like a true center. And the Mavs don't. I mean, Gafford, he's like an athletic big, but I wouldn't say he's an overpowering, dominant center. I mean, centers aren't where these teams have their strong suit, right? I mean, it's guards and forwards. So there's the centers aren't going to be the star of the show in this finals, and that's why I think the matchup's pretty even. Yeah. What do you think about that, Brian?
Well, Tatum's never going to win a ring. That's how I'll end.
I think you're just biased on that. And again, let me be crystal clear. I do not want the Celtics to win.
I mean, they're favored. They're minus 225 to win it. So, I mean,
I think you're just like discrediting it away. You're like, easy path, they're going to lose. And it's like,
I don't think they've been tested. They've been tested, and then the Pacers gave them a win. Like that's their version of testing, is them being down and the Pacers committing 2 turnovers with under 30 seconds.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a tougher series, and I agree it's probably their toughest of the playoffs. Who'd they play in the first round?
The Jimmy Butler-less Heat.
Yeah. And then who's the second round?
The Bucks? Donovan Mitchell-less Cavs.
Yep.
No, Mitchell played.
Not the
he
last
played
two.
For half the series.
Yeah, but he played for the meaningful games, and that series was over by the time he was injured. But whatever, we'll keep rolling here. And then
didn't they lose one?
They did lose
one to the Cavs.
They lost a game that Mitchell played.
Yeah.
They lost one game at home.
And then he went out and they wrapped up the series.
No, he played.
So that doesn't help. That doesn't help the non-easy path argument.
No, I'm just saying he played the next game though. But either way, we're just keeping it rolling here. And then what would that be? The conference finals was the next one?
Yep.
They swept out the Pacers, but
wasn't
the margin of defeat like within 10 points every game, besides maybe like one of them?
They were closer games for sure. They were much closer games. The Pacers had an opportunity.
The Pacers choked every time
to win like games 1 through 3, and they were winning like at one point in the fourth, I think, in the fourth game. They absolutely had opportunities to win.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments. Is this the toughest series of the playoffs for the Celtics? I mean, I'd have to agree.
Easily. I think easily.
Now, is this going to be the toughest series of the playoffs for the Mavericks?
No.
Okay, series is tougher?
All three before this one.
Really? You have all three of their series. Dude, didn't they work the Clippers? Maybe not the Clippers.
They didn't necessarily work the Clippers. They didn't necessarily work any of these teams, except for you could maybe say that about the Timberwolves, going up 3-0 on them to start, I guess, and then dropping game 4 when you're up 3-0 is not really a big deal. So I guess you could say they worked the Timberwolves, but the Timberwolves worked the defending champs, the Nuggets. So
right.
I mean, let's give them some credit, man. The Mavs have had an incredible road here. I think the fact that this is the finals makes this the biggest series yet for that, or not,
right,
not,
of course.
The toughest foes yet. I think just that elevated pressure makes this, probably the toughest series that they're going to have in this playoffs.
Yeah,
What do you think, Brian?
I really think this just comes down to Tatum's a choke artist. I don't trust Jaylen Brown. The Celtics are just chokers in general. Kyrie Irving has won a finals, and Luka Doncic has played in the EuroLeague. He didn't give a fuck about American fans. So at the end of the day, when the palms get sweaty and the hamstrings get tight, I trust Luka and Kyrie more than I trust the Celtics.
Me too.
And let's think about it. Like, both sets of superstars have had injury history, right? Like, Tatum's had some issues, Brown's had some issues, Luka's had issues this playoffs. And then Kyrie, I guess, maybe has some injury history as well. But, and one injury could obviously sway the outcome. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I would love to see it go to 7 games with Dallas winning in Boston game 7. How awesome would that be?
Love that. What's the status on Lively? I know he got hurt in that Timberwolves series, but is he back, Brian?
They definitely need him back.
He's probable. So him and
let's think
Porzingis
about
are probable.
It's Sunday right now. We're recording this. Everyone will watch this on Monday. The finals doesn't start till Thursday. So these guys are going to be well rested for game 1 and for the entire series. So I think, this is just going to be awesome. And I hope the Mavs win, because I don't want to see the Celtics win. But, Brian, I think you're discrediting it a little too much. As much as I hope you're right.
I think it's more just optimism discrediting than anything. But I mean, last thing you mentioned,
you're saying you're discrediting their run. You're saying it's
no, their run is complete bullshit. I'm discrediting them in this matchup a little bit because I just said Tatum will never win a ring, but their run has been complete nonsense.
There you have it.
I think that's fair to say. I think
it's been more cupcake than teams in the West for sure, and you could argue more, but getting to the end, you got to do it. And they did it, whether it's cupcake or not. It's still a tough task.
You put the top 6 teams in the West and give them the Celtics path to the finals, and they all do it just as well as the Celtics do.
Yes.
Okay, so I won't argue the top teams, but let's talk about 5 and 6. Who was that? Because if the Clippers are one of them, I don't think so.
It was the Mavericks and the Suns.
The Suns do not cakewalk through that Eastern Conference.
I think they did.
I think they do.
So I would walk that back, Brian.
I think the Suns would have cakewalked that.
I really don't
if
think
the Suns
would.
play the Knicks, they lose. But if the Suns against the Pacers, it's a cakewalk.
Well,
yeah,
we're talking about the run that the Celtics had.
The exact run. Yeah.
Pacers, Cavs, and Miami Heat with those players out as well. The Suns are absolutely doing it. The Mavs are doing it.
I don't think the
Timberwolves,
Clippers are.
OKC, the Nuggets. That's the top 6, right?
The Clippers were, I guess, for 4, and he's saying the Clippers won't at 4.
Do you think they will?
Yes.
They would? You think the
Yes.
Clippers would? I don't think they would.
I think
the Clippers would. I think the Clippers would lose to the Pacers. I really do.
I was gonna say I think they would have maybe lost to the Pacers,
or that would be a lot tougher. Dude, the Clippers would struggle against the Heat in the first round with or without Jimmy Butler.
I don't
know.
100%.
You just hate James Harden.
I do hate James Harden. But Either way.
Who are the 7 and 8 seeds in the West?
The
Kings were one of them.
the Lakers and the Pelicans, I thought.
Oh,
Oh,
the Pelicans were. Yeah, no, the Kings didn't make it.
lost.
The Pelicans made it, and the Pelicans what? They got swept by OKC.
OKC, and then the
Yeah.
Lakers lost in 5 to the Nuggets.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, I hope the Mavs win. I have a weird feeling the Celtics might get it done, but I want to see Luka get that ring, man.
So we're squad riding Dallas.
I was just going to say, I think we got a little squad ride cooking up here, Brian.
All right, well, then do we want to do the series odds at plus 188 or Luka Doncic MVP at plus 210?
Parlay?
Yes.
I don't think you can parlay them.
Awesome.
That would be a wonderful parlay.
Probably get it at what, like plus 500, plus 600.
That's so juicy. I love that.
But yeah, definitely can. I don't know. I'll just take them to take the series. If they win the series, Luka's going to be the MVP. I don't see a world where Kyrie.
Yeah.
I don't see a world where Kyrie gets it done.
If he goes out and has like 3 games where he drops 20 points in the fourth quarter, which he's capable of doing.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm throwing my chips in the Luka bag too. I just think for them to get it done, it's gonna look. I think it's gonna be a tough series for Kyrie. I mean, he's one of the best players in the NBA. He's gonna be able to handle the pressure, the environment that Boston is, his former team. They're gonna have a lot to say about him when he shows up in TD Garden. Yeah, I think he's gonna struggle. I mean, when you were on a team for a little while. All those players played against you in practice every day. They know your tendencies. And again, Kyrie is best fit to come through, break that mold or that, I guess you would call it stereotype or that box. But it's got to be Luka. If the Mavs win this series, it's got to be Luka.
What do you have, like 25 in the first quarter in Game 5 against the Timberwolves?
I'll put it this way. If it was just Luka, right, and no Kyrie, I think Luka can get to the finals and possibly win with everyone around him. But if you just have Kyrie and no Luka, I don't think the Mavs get out of the first round. Does that make sense?
I don't think they make the finals in either scenario.
Yeah, I think.
I'm saying the Luka-led team is making it further than the Kyrie-led team at this point in their careers, which means why would you need Luka to get it done?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I'm just saying. Why I would think why would take Luka to win the MVP?
It wasn't that long ago where Kyrie tried to lead his own Celtics team, and that just imploded.
And literally, so what? He was on the Cavs. Did he get drafted by Cleveland?
Yes.
Yeah, he was there a little bit before LeBron came.
Drafted, then went there. Didn't like being in LeBron's shadow, so he left to Boston. How long did that relationship last? 2 years?
Something like
Maybe
that.
2 years of 2 seasons, but he was only playing for like a year.
Blew that up. And then did he go right to Dallas from Boston?
No, Brooklyn with KD and Harden.
And that didn't work.
That did not work. And
I think he kind of just said, wow, I might be the fucking problem here. Let me just shut the fuck up and I'll just go play basketball and be in Luka's shadow. And now look what they're doing.
Look, you can say that he was the problem, but he's made it back to the finals now, and James Harden and KD are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but look, Kyrie is taking like a different approach. You don't see him saying crazy shit in the media. He's not a loose cannon anymore. He's calmed down. He's, like I said, he's shut up and just playing basketball and not causing a scene. And look how well things are going.
He's definitely
He is zen out. He seems like he just doesn't give a shit what the average person has to say anymore, which is good. I mean, you need to have that mentality as a professional athlete with all these people in the media coming at you every day, left and right. I mean, think about how many times he's been in the media over the past few years. People yelling at him saying he's the problem in Boston, he's the problem in Brooklyn. Now he's with Luka in Dallas. It seems like there's nothing but love over there, and it's really been the best thing for him as a player and just as a man.
Yeah, they got him a personal chef for Ramadan. Never happened before in his career. Like they're taking care of him down there.
Shout out Mark Cuban.
Shout out Mark Cuban, man. But yeah, squad ride. Mavs are winning this series from views from section 400. You heard it here first. We'll dive into it a little more on the Wednesday show, which I guess you'll watch on game day of game one. So that'll be interesting and fun stuff. But let's dive into a little NHL playoffs here. We're wrapping up the Dallas-Edmonton series. But, Jack, your future, kind of, sort of, some might call a Mickey Mouse future because you gave it out right before the playoffs and not in the beginning of the year. But that's a conversation for a different day to have your 2 minutes of fame. Brian might agree with me with that. Brian might agree.
That's crazy.
You did take a while. You did take a while to give out that feature.
Didn't give it out preseason. Didn't give it out midseason. Took a couple extra weeks and then gave out Panthers. But again, like I said, I'm not coming at you. I'm still crediting you with the future. But
wow,
I'm just addressing what people are already talking about.
There's really no love these days. Ain't no love these days. Your boys said the Florida Panthers before the playoffs even started. Oh, well before the first puck drop of the 2024 NHL playoffs, your boys said the Florida Panthers. Is that not good enough for you?
No.
You definitely did. I'm not good enough for Brian. See, I know I'm not the only one thinking this.
Unbelievable. When did I give that out? Maybe 2 weeks after the college football championship?
No, it was deeper. It was like
2 weeks before the NHL playoffs.
Isn't that when you gave out? Isn't that when you guys gave out your NHL pick?
Ryan and I gave ours out, I thought, in like February, and you did it in like March. Yours was later, like well later than ours.
I mean, what? It
might have been like 2 weeks after, because it was like 3 shows after, so it's probably 2 weeks.
Hey man, I'm just talking about what people are already talking about.
Bro, yo, you guys, you try to take anything you want from me, but the Florida Panthers are Eastern Conference champions, and they're going to the NHL playoffs. They're gonna go fight for the Stanley Cup, and when they take it home, and I see them at the cash counter, I'll just wave to you guys. I'll wave to the haters, all right? Because we're winning.
I'm just making you aware because everybody else already is.
You guys are just salty that your picks fucking flopped.
Hey,
I knew
Ryan's just so salty. It's not
like, give me a break. I knew Maple Leafs was flopping as soon as Brian said that. But mine, I definitely thought the Avalanche would put up a better showing than they did. But look, I mean, I'm just messing with you, man. Busting your chops.
It's coming home. As long as Edmonton gets by Dallas, it's coming home. So you're fucked either way.
And not only is it coming home, it's coming home to the Pacific Northwest.
That's not the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it is.
It's in British Columbia, or it's in Alberta. If it was in British Columbia, it would count. But it's in a different province. The province over is the Northwest. That doesn't count.
Brian, this is why democracies work so well. We'll let the people vote. We'll let them decide. Is Edmonton in the Pacific Northwest? You can let us know down in the comments below. Because Brian, if you don't recall, I guess a month ago said the Pacific Northwest will never get a professional championship ever again. But he excluded San Francisco. So very nitpicky, but nonetheless.
I said everything above San Francisco. Which I basically implied everything on the West Coast line above San Francisco. Not all the way out there and near the fucking Grand Canyon if you went south. No, on the West Coast line.
I think Edmonton's more Pacific Northwest than it not being Pacific Northwest.
I don't know if it's most definitely north enough, but I don't know if it's Pacific enough.
It's like middle. It's like Midwest. It's not Pacific.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're going to let the people vote. And I could be wrong, but I just think it'd be hilarious after you say no team from the Pacific is going to ever win again. And Edmonton, which is, you got to have a conversation about it because that's how close it is. Yeah, Jack, you were very adamant and want to talk about Caitlin Clark. Brian, I mean, I've never seen somebody glaze a woman basketball athlete harder than Brian does. Caitlin Clark, how's she doing? I haven't been keeping up with it. I know I said it's going to be tough for her to make the Olympic roster. I still say it'll be tough. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but Brian has it as a mortal lock. And I just when you get to that pro level, there's a lot of good athletes out there. And you kind of saw it with, a little bit of struggles. Yeah, she's scoring, but 2 of 9 from 3, I think, in her last game. I can't say that she's shooting the 3 ball that effectively or that well. Brian, maybe I'm sure you have some stat up your sleeve that is going to combat that. But what do you guys got on that?
It's just 1 of 10 tonight, so nothing to combat that.
Look, she's been getting roughed up out there, and that's what I wanted to bring up. Not necessarily how she is playing. I mean, look, she's a rookie coming into the league. She's still trying to figure it out, as should be expected. I mean, the expectations are through the roof, obviously, as everybody knows, but she's just a rookie trying to get her feet under her. What I want to talk about is the fact that she's getting bodied out there, and it almost seems like, people are talking about it, that there's like a bounty on her head out there for some of these players. There's a female player named Kennedy Carter who bodied Caitlin Clark to the ground in a game the other night, and some NBA players, former and current, had some things to say. You had Draymond and Green say the Fever need to sign an enforcer immediately, someone to protect Caitlin Clark in the sense of, you want to body her, push her down to the ground, like you're going to get your shit fucked up. Think like if Camila Cardoza, was like, that would be my, go-to. Obviously, she just got drafted. She's not getting moved anytime soon, but bring in someone that's 7 feet tall that'll tell the rest of these women to fuck off. And then Matt Barnes, he was saying, the Fever teammates of Caitlin Clark should be ashamed of themselves for letting this happen to their, star rookie. Just wanted to get your two guys' thoughts on, what Draymond had to say and what Matt Barnes had to say.
It's a toxic workplace culture in the WNBA. And I mean, I know college softball, there's no good professional softball league. So just start signing some of these college softball pitchers to their big hosses. Just get them to be enforcers on your team. I don't know. They protect your star athlete. She's a generational talent, and she's getting hit sticked like every night. Figure it out.
Yeah, but I don't know that. Why haven't they done? They haven't done anything yet. I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to.
Yeah, they should.
So it might not even be a matter of Clark getting snubbed for the Olympic roster. She might just be hurt for it.
Yeah, well, at this rate, yeah. People saying, if Steph Curry was getting fouled like this, Draymond would be going to federal prison, protecting Steph Curry. So that's the kind of person with that kind of mentality that they need. I mean, this is their Steph Curry. This is their, LeBron James can handle himself, but this is your franchise quarterback. You have to put the pieces around your franchise quarterback to protect them. Otherwise, they end up like Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they got to go out there and sign.
Hey, now. Don't what? Caught a stray last podcast. Wasn't here. Now I'm catching him again. Different sport too.
Now you're here.
The only thing I was just gonna say, they got to go out and get a Ron Artest, Meta World Peace type guy like the Lakers did with Kobe, and have them have that enforcer. Get a little Malice at the Palace going, because doesn't Indiana play or I guess now they don't play that close to there, but still kind of where the Malice at the Palace happens. Indiana, Detroit, kind of sort of.
The same way Edmonton is in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, yes, it is in the Pacific Northwest. You're right. Absolutely right.
You want to connect those dots.
Yeah, let's hit a little. Unless you guys want to keep talking about Caitlin Clark, but I agree. They need to protect her.
Protect my queen.
Brian's second wife.
My wife.
But yeah, let's get a little MLB going, dude. Last week we talked about the Mets being 10 under 500. Steve Cohen's a fraud. I had that thrown in there. Phillies are red hot. They already won the first 2 games of the Cardinals series. So, I think they're losing right now, but the final game doesn't matter. Just win your series. But yeah, Brian, anything that I might have missed that you wanted to touch on in the world of the baseball diamonds?
Yeah, I wrote down a whole soliloquy defending Steve Cohen because of your asinine comments, which I'll get into. But Rose forgot her keys, so I have to let my real wife into the apartment real quickly.
My wife.
That's so ridiculous.
I got a
Read
few
off to
bullet
me.
points for you.
Let's see. Let's hear it.
First bullet point, you are a moron. Second bullet point, year one, he took over a terrible team, an absolute mess, hired a competent manager when they had an incompetent manager. You remember Luis Rojas.
Who was who they hired? They hired Buck Showalter. Is he still there?
No,
Okay, great.
I'll get to
and
that.
how long did that last? Did he see out his contract? No.
He won 101 games. He bought Max Scherzer. He bought Starling Marte. He brought in Mark
And
Cannon.
they lost.
He brought
They
in
lost after
Escobar.
that 101. They choked a wild card series. No, you're
Yeah,
not gonna
whose
get
fault
to
is
just slide
that?
through
That's
all
the
your bullet
player's
points.
fault. That's not his fault. They missed the playoffs the year before. They were terrible. He put together a team that won 101 games, and
And
they
look
made
at
the
the 1 year
playoffs.
turnaround. They're 10 under 500, and the
I
season's
will
over
get
before
to that.
June.
I will get to that. So last year, he tries to do the same thing. He goes and buys Justin Verlander, buys a bunch of rentals, a bunch of good players, and it doesn't work. He realizes it doesn't work. So what does he do? He sells. He sells the players. He gets young players. He rebuilds. Still doesn't have any kind of VP of baseball operations, any kind of front office staff to make decisions for him. He's making all the decisions. He realizes this offseason, I can't do that. I have to put people in place. He hires scouting. He hires front office people. He hires David Stearns to be his VP of baseball operations. Then David Stearns comes out and says this 2024 will be a transitional year, meaning if everyone plays to their potential, if everyone goes over the moon, plays great, they'll make the playoffs. But the goal is just for it to be a transitional year. They're going to find out who will stay, who's playing well. They're going to develop the young guys. And then next year is when they're going to start going for it again. So for you to say now that they're 10 games under in a transitional year and it's a failure, that's bullshit. Because they came out and said it's a transitional year. They may not be good. So how are you going to call it a failure? Steve Cohen tried to buy
Because that's
wins.
not the tune he was singing when he got hired on. That is not what he said.
Yeah, and he realized
when
it
bought
wasn't
the
working,
team,
so he
It
switched.
was never going to be a transitional period.
Yes, but he's a good owner. He's a good businessman. He realized what he was doing was not working, so he switched gears. And this is the first season of him switching gears. So for you to just say the first season of him switching the way he's doing things and transitioning into a more sustainable product is a failure, that doesn't make any sense. At least give it 2 or 3 years.
But coming in and spending money and throwing money at the wall and hoping it sticks, that process is failure.
That was a failure, yeah. But
Okay,
you said
there you
the Steve Cohen era is a failure.
The Steve Cohen
era just started.
I'm pretty sure I said the experiment.
Yeah, okay, that makes it even worse. Because the experiment, it's been 2 years. This is year 3.
The experiment was come in, throw money all over the place, and try and buy
it didn't work. So he's switching.
So it's a failure.
Yes, but it's still going. You're acting like it's over. Like it didn't work. The first phase of his plan. Yes, because he realized that doesn't work, so he switched gears, and that's what this year is. He's switching the way he's doing things.
Right.
And what's happened? He's already revamped the farm system.
The Steve Cohen experiment is a failure. He is now hands off.
The Steve Cohen experiment is still going on. It's not going to be considered a failure or not a failure for another 20 years. You can't call it a failure 3 years into an owner owning a team.
I can call whatever the hell I want.
You can, but that's stupid. It's dumb. I mean, you can do it, but it's not factual at all.
Look, I think it is definitely a little
Jack, step in here, dude.
This is an owner we're talking about, right? We're not talking about a head coach experiment. We're talking about an owner. Yes, it takes some time to figure it out, I guess. You want to call it a transitional year. As a fan, Brian, I don't know how you feel about that. I would hate to hear that. I mean, yeah, sure, you understand it's going to happen, but to come out and admit that you're not acting.
From what they did last year, when he just threw a bunch of money at the wall and they sucked, I'd rather them not do that this year and just suck again, or maybe not do that this year, maybe be good. And it hasn't worked out. But at least they're not throwing a bunch of money at the wall, and I have to watch a bunch of 40-year-olds complain about how they're playing games till 11 o'clock and how the position players aren't respecting them. And it's just, the team has a better feeling to it this year. It feels like they're going in the right direction, even though they're 10 games under 500. And by the way, their best pitcher has been out all year. Their generational prospect has been out for most of the year. So and their best closer, an all-star closer, has been terrible again. So just some things haven't worked out. That's not Steve Cohen's fault. That's just, it hasn't worked out.
It's like 3 huge things that haven't worked out, but
yeah. And what can the owner do about that? That's 2 injuries and a guy that's just got his tours, ACL, Achilles, whatever it was, playing a meaningless World Baseball Classic game, and now he sucks again.
like you say, they're not throwing money around either. And it's like, I mean, they spent money for Quintana, or is he on a contract? And he's like horrible. They have Severino on a deal, only 1 year deal, but they threw a decent
He's
amount
been
of money at him.
serviceable. They needed an arm. Their rotation was in shambles. They needed someone to throw innings this year, and he's been solid. I'd take him back next year if they want to go get him.
Would you really?
He's got a 3.5 ERA. He's been good. Some games he goes 7 strong. Some games he's 9. He's fine. I'll tell you, I won't take back Adrian Hauser. He's fucking terrible. But Tyrone Taylor's I like.
Wait, and so who's the generational prospect?
Alvarez led all catchers in home runs, and he's still like 6th, even though he's been out for like 2 months.
That's like not like the hardest thing in the world to do. Like catchers across the board aren't really known to being like great hitters.
Well, that's another reason it's generational, because it gives you that advantage.
Yeah,
I guess. But at the same time,
he's also only 21 years old.
Where does that stack up against, maybe like a home run hitting position, like a first baseman or an outfielder, like a corner outfielder?
I mean, as a 20-year-old last year, he hit 25, and he played like three quarters of the year. So that pretty much attracts like 30 over a full season.
Gotcha. So, yeah, whatever. Okay. I won't combat you on that. And then let's talk about some of the other guys. Brett Beatty. I mean, that guy was supposed to be the next David Wright.
Yeah, Brett Beatty's a disaster.
All right. At least you can admit that.
Mark Vientos looks kind of solid. He's been looking solid. I was
going to say Vientos or Mark Vientos. That guy's like got Jose Aguilar feel, or Jose Villar, whatever, or Jonathan Villar, whatever that fucking guy. He has that feel to him. I already don't like the guy.
Vientos has been playing well, but I mean, it's more about the guys on the farm still right now. Like, they got Luis Angel Acuna in AAA right now, Drew Gilbert, Ryan Clifford, the 2 outfielders they got for Verlander. Like, they got guys down there now. So partly that's the cap, not that it's a cap, but the payroll's so high because you're paying Scherzer and Verlander for this year, but that's basically you're paying these young prospects and just hoping they.
Yeah, look, Francisco Lindor hasn't been great either. I know he's been playing better lately. But, I mean, really, for the money you pay that guy.
He's terrible.
I'll put it if he was in Philadelphia, he'd be getting booed.
He's terrible.
So
he only hits when they're 10 games under 500.
Mm-hmm. And when he needs him to hit? Yeah, I thought that was a joke when he's like, I don't really speak out, and I had to hold a secret meeting and blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, dude, give me a break.
They did. Since that meeting, they've been bitter. Yeah, I didn't even get to address the Jorge Lopez thing because I was still on my honeymoon. I don't even know if I want to address it, but
yeah, dude, he clearly said he plays for the worst team. Like, I don't know why he was trying to save it, saying he's a bad teammate. Like,
yeah.
So he's like, the media didn't make up anything. I heard it crystal clear. He said he plays for the worst team in baseball. Like, that was just like, all right, bro, you're not getting out of this one with the language barrier excuse. And you said you play for the worst team.
It had to be. I think they have 7 days to trade him, and it's been when that happened, Thursday,
Wednesday. Yeah.
So it's been like half that time.
Happened Wednesday, I think.
Okay, yeah. So there'll be 2 days from when this comes out. They might. I mean, after those comments, they might not find a suitor to trade him. So they might just have to.
Well, what happens if they cut him?
They just bite the money, and someone can sign him for the minimum.
How much do they owe him?
I think it's probably like $2 million.
He's not on like like big deal. No. I mean, dude, he was an effective closer, wasn't he? On the Twins,
and then he's on the Twins, and then the Orioles.
He was good on the Orioles as well. I mean, I thought he was an effective reliever.
Yeah, he was. He was effective-ish for the Mets this year until he blew up in that.
He just fucking lost his shit.
Yeah, it's
wild.
It's not great.
But I guess that can, it's already a long show. We've had some good segments, some good debates going here. I love the way the show's been going so far. But why don't we wrap it up with a little 4 and 400? Get back to it. I know we tried to do it as a 2-man show. People are saying it's too easy, not a diverse enough list. So now that we have the full crowd here, the full crew, the full team, Jack, Brian, myself, we'll get into the 4 and 400 presented by Views from Section 400. And we're going to draft the best sporting events out there in the world. Now, that could be literally anything from NASCAR to the NFL and everything in between. we will. I already have the list down. Jack's gonna pick first. Brian will go second. I'll go last. You can guess. Brian made that list. That's why I'm going last. And,
it's a snake draft. You get 2 at the back.
But then I do get the 2 at the back. But yeah, I mean, Jack, you're on the clock, brother. Who are you gonna take? And who are you gonna take number 1 overall?
Yeah, I thought.
What are you gonna take? What event?
Man, I thought long and hard about this one. And I think I just have to go to my roots on this one. Shout out my mom and call it for what it is. The Kentucky Derby. The great race.
It's a good one.
At 1-1?
At 101, Brian. This is
First over.
All right, well,
my Harrison bucket.
I'll take the true 1-1. I'm gonna take the Super Bowl.
Overrated.
Yeah, it's definitely wild. I'm gonna go with the World Cup final.
That's a good one.
Great one.
You get another one too.
And I have to think about this for a second. And I'm sure we're gonna leave something glaring out there. That's people are how did these dudes not say that? But just something that's popping in my head, and I feel like I always talk about it, so I gotta say it. I'm gonna go with the Masters.
It's a good one. All right, I have
it's on brand for you, Matt.
So I know this could be contentious, so I'll ask for approval. Can I say the first day of March Madness?
Yeah, because that was
I'll allow it.
So.
All right, I'm going with the first day of March Madness.
Great pick, Brian. It's a great pick. Just like the many fantasy drafts we've had together over the years, you stole my pick right before I was about to take her.
Oh, really?
But... Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? Yep. Round of 64. Round of 64 and Super Bowl were most definitely on my list, so good on you. I'm going to have to pivot because that was my second round pick, and my third round pick, it's staying where it is. I know I get 2 on this round. So what I'm going to do is take Super Wild Card Weekend from the NFL in my second round. And I'm snaking here. With the first pick in the third round, I will take MLB's opening day.
Fuck you. Fuck. I was really hoping you went World Series when I heard MLB.
Opening day, baby. What a good time to get the grills fired up. Ugh. Love a good dog.
Really
good dog on opening day, man.
Oh,
yeah,
man. That hurts. That hurts. Okay. Now I got to stand the well. Back to the well, indeed. Okay, I'm going to go with I know they change it every year, but whatever day the college football playoff semifinals are.
That's horrible.
I think it's a good pick, Brian.
I think
Matt hates it, but I think it's a good pick.
I think it's a horrible pick. But whatever.
Well, yeah, I was a little rattled after opening day was taken.
I'm slightly rattled about the opening day one. Because I was definitely pivoting towards MLB, but so since I don't know if this is, I guess it's 2 separate events, so it'll count, but I hate going all in kind of on one sport here, but I'm going to take the Champions League final.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Best.
That was yesterday too, by the way. So definitely some huge events I got on the board here.
You get one more to end your draft.
Oh, to end my draft. And then just to kind of, keep it American, and I do love baseball, I'm going to take the World Series.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad you went World Series because I'm between 2. Because I kind of wanted to have baseball. I'm going to end up with 3 football, but I like having this here. I'm going to take the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl? That's a good one. Sneaky pull.
I like that, Brian.
Sneaky pull right there. I like that. What do you got, Jack? Well, I guess what? You one pick here.
Yeah, with the Mr. Irrelevant of our draft, I'm gonna go with Talladega, and it's not because I'm a huge NASCAR fan by any means. I just love seeing the parties, the energy, all the videos that come out of it at the end. Fucking love Talladega, man.
Let me ask you this, because there's 2 Talladega races: the spring race or the fall race.
I mean, dude,
I guess we're ready for that one.
I think he get. Does he get both, or does he have to
I
pick
don't know.
one?
I mean, you can just have both.
Can
But I think one is a regular season race and the other is a playoff race.
look, I'll take the playoff for the playoff, but I don't know. I kind of want to take the spring one regardless, just because there's probably more titties out in the spring versus.
Well, it
the
is down in
fall.
Alabama, so the weather. And when I say fall, I want to say it's in like September, October. But again, in Alabama, that's still pretty warm.
Dude, I'm taking the Talladega Speedway. Just give it to me. Give it all to me.
Yeah, and I definitely wanted to have the Daytona 500 in there, but I just don't know that it would have been as popular with the people out there.
Daytona went undrafted.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna have Daytona instead of Champions League final, but I feel like Champions League final is bigger. It is bigger.
For sure, yeah.
Also relevant right now too.
It's not like any of us were going to include like the cricket championship because I'm sure that's like a huge event as well.
It is. But yeah, I mean that's the 400. Jack has the Kentucky Derby, Super Wild Card Weekend, MLB Opening Day, and then what was your last one?
Talladega.
That's right. We just talked about it. Brian with the Super Bowl, first day of March Madness, college football playoff, first day.
College football playoff.
Oh, college football
the
playoff.
Semifinal, right?
And then the Iron Bowl. Solid there. And then I had the World Cup final, the Masters, UCL Champions League final, and the World Series. So let us know below who you think had the best draft, who had the best events. I think some pretty solid lists there, and I'm sure all three of us can list a bunch of reasons why we think our lists are the best. So again, we'll kick it over to you guys. Who do you think had the best list, had the best draft? Who won the draft? Give us some grades down below. We'd love to see it.
I think it's Jack's list is just events you want to drink at. Your list is like the old dad events, and then my list is just ADD. You want to watch everything at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt's all about the championships, the rings and the jackets.
It's gonna be good though. It'll be interesting to see how people vote.
People vote and what they think. And then I guess maybe we'll have it as a question of the day, but also is there like a separate place people can vote? I guess maybe we can.
I'll make a graphic and then have a poll, and people can do the graphic and vote on the poll.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll see who had the best list. And again, I think this is going to be an awesome new segment, the 4 and 400. That's really our first official one. I know Brian and I had I guess you call that a trial. It was just only 2 men, best quarterbacks right now, which got some good feedback. You guys seem to like that, so we will hopefully this creates more diverse lists, kind of like I explained, but just better debates amongst you guys, the fans in the comments below. So yeah, I mean that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
Jack's just shaking his head because Trevor Lawrence was not included in that top 8 quarterback.
That's not why I'm shaking my head, man. I mean that top 8 quarterback list, it was so obvious with the first 7, like who you could clearly put there. Who did we go with at number 8? Who was the last one that you guys said?
I took forever to pick my 8th. I kind of forget.
Yeah, I know, and it was horrible.
It might have been
maybe. Brian picked Tua.
That's what it was. Unconcussed Tua.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I wish I was there. I had so much to say about that.
Brian had Mahomes, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, and then Tua. I had Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Matt, you take that solely because Brian took Tua. But if Brian had taken
the disrespect.
Matt Stafford or Aaron Rodgers, we could have had a legitimate conversation between whose list was better.
Tua's winning MVP this year.
Yeah, is he going to be the most valuable player when 2 of his receivers are 2 of the highest paid receivers in the NFL? Is it him or is it his receivers?
It's him.
So you're just discrediting Tua. You're not saying Trevor Lawrence should be in there instead of Tua.
No, because I would have put I think it's blasphemous to not have Aaron Rodgers or Matthew Stafford in there. Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers is a Yankee fan.
I'm pretty sure I said that to you on this pod too, Brian. Wasn't I like, oh, Rodgers is still out there?
Yeah, he has one bum Achilles and he's a Yankee fan now. You can't take Rodgers on any list.
Unbelievable.
It is pretty nuts, but yeah, a little glimpse of the past one or the first one we did, a 4 and 400. If you didn't check that video out, but when we have the full team, the full crew, really makes for some interesting draft lists. And yeah, like Brian was saying, we'll get something chopped up, get a poll out there, graphic up, and really interested to see what you guys have to vote on and what the outcome will be. Like I said, I'm sure all three of us have 3 separate reasons on why we think ours are the best. So we'll let you guys vote below and let us know. That's all I got, though. Views from Section 400. Can't wait for another Boots on the Ground event. That's all I got, though. Matt, Jack, and Brian, uninterrupted sports conversation. I'll catch you on the next one. Go Mavs.
R.I.P. Grandpa.